다 되네. 다낭기 투네 휴야인. 될라다. 사주 장줍 삼바 되는 냐메 감보파 송. 되네. 탁부 추히. 다디낭네 토마르 로추순로와 디슈세네. 다추 람도 로와 될라양테네. 내가 있는 년도기 특바당 아니 타도 특바 첨부 니게 엔네트네 람제는 바 차상와지 나는 로요레 다텔라테네 내가 년도기 아니 특바 남샤데 타당 휴슨 바제 노도지 휴슨 바제 다 개바제나 되네 년도기 특베 되네 다 지금 봐 사당 람 어떤 방자다 다 녀보 망보 휴유요랬다 다 노르두지 제나 다나지 덴바히 그때는 남기야 그럴 때네 는 노르두 휴슨 바제 다 단다 했더니 디지스 때네 다 특바 첨부 그때는 남기는 바 에는 땡거요래.
So to pick up, we're discussing a teaching by the 10th level Bodhisattva Gampopa, the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa. And we covered the first one, may my mind go to the Dharma, and we began the discussion of the second one, may my practice of the Dharma travel the authentic path. So we talked about 2 types of results, the more temporary result of the Shravakas and Parteki Buddhas, and the ultimate result, which is the culmination of the Mahayana path. So I've already completed an introduction to the temporary result of the Shravakas and Parteki Buddhas, so that's been given in a brief way. Of course, if we talk about it in a more elaborate way, there are many things that could be said. We could talk about the path and the things which are to be abandoned and many, many more things, but what we've talked about will suffice for now. So now I'll begin to speak about the Mahayana path, the stages of the Mahayana path.
다 특바 첨부 값은 다 냐랑게 람 랑도 이지 아니 랑 찍고 아니 다 냥닐렌데베 에네 공방돈도 녀와 되니 아니 발빵 자체네 아니 다 현도 코나를 먹봐 때네 샘제 탐제라 때네 잠바당 때네 닝지 꾸는 랑네 아니 샘제 탐제 아니 조페 산제제 살아 고버차베 레도 아니 토마라 장줍지 샘는 뭐지 남바니 아니 기분은 저기 요래.
So for the path of the Pratyeka Buddhas and the Shravakas, they strive only for the liberation of themselves. But for the path of the Mahayana, this is actually a motivation that we need to abandon. Because for the path of the Mahayana, we are working for the benefit of all sentient beings. We have the wish to establish all sentient beings in the state of complete and perfect Buddhahood. And we do so we begin this path by cultivating loving kindness and compassion towards them. So at the beginning of this path, we need to give rise to the 2 types of bodhicitta.
다 텔라 토마르 네 군접 장줍 셈. 다 군접 장줍 셈다 진당 돈담 장줍 셈 니요레. 다 군접 장줍 셈 텔라 네 몬백 셈당 죽백 셈. 다 몬백 셈세도 제 셈제 탐제 아니 라나메바 조페산제지 콤방된 보체 는 거프라 차오 거프라 차기 셈제 탐제 에네든 상제 살라 에네게 샤버 차기 냠백 로데 몬백 셈제 다 몬바 직부 미쳐바레 엔 대답을 몬백 되니 줍백 레도 죽백 에네든 셈 셈난다 죽백 되니 돈바 송원은 저기 요래.
So if we break down bodhicitta, we can say there's relative bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. And further, for the relative bodhicitta, there are 2 aspects to relative bodhicitta. That's the aspirational bodhicitta and the application bodhicitta. So this aspiration bodhicitta is this thought: I must establish all sentient beings in the state of perfect Buddhahood. I must do this, I will do this. Giving rise to this intention or this mind is what we call aspiration bodhicitta. But if we just left it at that as just an intention or just a thought, well, that's not going to serve the purpose. That's not good enough. So actually engaging in things that are going to bring this about, engaging in the conduct of bodhisattva, this is what we call application bodhicitta.
다 죽비기 돈바데 송세네 다디 랍잣 카리어서나 저당 랍잣 남당 망보 요래데 근데 다 장줍기 줘봐 난다 장줍 셈베기 랍잣도 근데 바로도 침바 쪼래 근데 바로도 침바 쪼데 베네 다 까빠네 까베 바도 랍 구장 근데 랍발라 된 흉바메바 어도세네 엔야다 짐바 근데 수좀 소바 zondu samde hirapse and the parchin trok line nyamji nangyore.
So if we want to talk about this, once you take this vow of application bodhicitta, there's a lot of advice that one can receive, or a lot of different types of training one should engage in. But if we want to sort of boil it all down, we can say that all of the conduct or the training can be subsumed under the 6 paramitas. And we need to be willing to engage in the practice of these 6 paramitas, even if it takes many, many kalpas, many, many eons to complete our aim. So these 6 paramitas are generosity, ethics, patience, diligence, meditation, and prajna.
다 양나 파르진 톡스 난들이 양나 파르진 톡데 소남지 초당 이히 초도 초니지 이네 공수 이네 되나 저기요래.
So we can talk about the 6 paramitas in that way, or we could say that all of these would also be subsumed under the accumulation of merit and the accumulation of wisdom.
다 대답을 바로 쳔바 쪽라 랍네 에네 디게네야다 람림지도 에네 도구여라 람텔라 데네 장수선배 람텔라 람가 안 사주 요래 에네 초람 졸람 통람 검람 밀럽 람세 에네야 람가 당 에네 사주 에네 렘백인도 도구여래.
And what is the path that we travel when we're engaging in the practice of these 6 paramitas, or these accumulations of merit and wisdom? The path of the bodhisattvas can be broken down into what we call the 5 paths, or the stages through which we travel, can be called the 5 paths, or the 10 bhumis of the bodhisattva, the 10 stages of the bodhisattva. To break down the 5 paths, it's the path of accumulation, the path of joining, the path of seeing, the path of meditation, and the path of no more learning.
다 대답을 람가 사주 에네 렘지 드네 다딘 드블라 에네 타동 드블 상제지드네 고섬 이히가이 다니 톱고요래.
And if one travels these 5 paths, or the 10 levels of the bodhisattva, and one attains the ultimate result, the result is just that. It's the ultimate realization, which is the realization of Buddhahood. And from this Buddhahood come the 3 kayas of the Buddha, or the 3 different bodies of the Buddha, along with the 5 wisdoms.
다드네 타르독인 레브 고스미히 나이 다니 타르첸선도 아니 다 셈젠지 드 아니 틀레 남가다 냠바세 아니 틀레 다 상제 게네 틀레라 베바당 소르바 메바 고랑히 륜럽지 아니 셈젠지 드타 가든 남가 그네 남가다 냠베 셈젠 탐제기 에네 드 아니 다 코르바 마동기 파르도 아니 틀레데 제바 메바
And then, once one attains this ultimate result, where one becomes the very embodiment of these 3 bodies of Buddha and the 5 wisdoms, then one engages in awakened activity to be of benefit to all beings who pervade, or who can be found throughout all of space. And this activity unfolds naturally, and it unfolds quite spontaneously. And this activity will continue without ceasing until the end of samsara.
다 대답을 특바 첨부기 람 다다이 동만 휴바나게 아니 잠당 닝제 창습지 셈는 보시 남바 니 송네 아니 다 림베 힌두 아니 가세 람가 사주 드빅 촐인데 다 특바 첨부게 했더니 람 랍주인도 람 랍빅 촐레 다 대답을 람 랍바데 타르독지 아니 다 주 람든 로바 히브릭 되래 달 추람든 거 봤다 니바들 추람든 거 봤다 니바라와 니바들 내갑당 탈독 니수 옆에 나네 탈독됐다 대바 전부 그 남남데 땡겨요.
So here we're talking about the second of the four dharmas of Gampopa. May my dharma practice travel along the authentic path. And so for this, again, to travel this Mahayana path, first we, as I said before, we generate loving kindness, compassion, and the two bodhicittas. And from that time, then we travel progressively through these 5 paths, through these 10 levels, taking to heart all of the advice and all the training of the Mahayana, of this tradition. And then one attains that ultimate result of Buddhahood. So when we say, may my Dharma practice travel the authentic path, this is what we're talking about, traveling the authentic path to this ultimate awakening, which is the state of Buddhahood itself.
다양 다이 기부 총어당 기부 정당 에네 기부 첨보세 에네 야트네 다숨 템비기 나네 엔다 다단디 기부 첨부글람 저요레.
And for individuals who travel this path that leads to the ultimate result of Buddhahood, this corresponds to this highest capacity of beings. Before we spoke about the 3 capacities of being, the lesser capacity, the middling, and the greater. So those who are predisposed to or have the capacity to travel this path of Mahayana up to complete Buddhahood, these are the beings of the highest capacity.
다는 숨바 람 출바 셀바 세들이 람 출바 셀바 다디 가르 땡겨 요르세나 아니 다 람디 출바 다 오사 데버식 닝보라 아니 로버 출바 get네 츠마 요르 다 로버 출바 츠마 다 탐제 에네드네 바 세버지 탑라나 메파티 다 ngaji 특biệt get네 골 효고 요르 nga 상하지 골 효고 요르 다 상하지 골 효네 네 토마르 다 민제지고 다 라마 배 챙여다 덴바 제 로마 너다 덴바 라 네 토마르 듀 마메파 멤버십파 네왕 아트네 왕라 때네 네 왕 소 담적 인상 담적 소신도 송 다 디제스 되네 냠술래자 네 람렘바 니레 깨베그름 바다 조베름바 게름다 조렘 대조 땡겨요.
So the next of the 4 dharmas of Gampopa is may the path clarify or remove confusion. So what is this talking about? Through traveling the path, these stains or these obscurations in our being, these which have confused us and that which obscures our Buddha nature or the inherent luminosity in our being, we need to remove them. And the best means to remove these stains or these obscurations is the path of the secret Mantrayana or the Vajrayana. So if one wants to embark upon or practice this path of the secret Mantrayana, first one needs to meet an authentic teacher. The teacher needs to be authentic and the student also needs to be ready or capable. And then when these two meet, then the next step is to receive empowerment, what we call the ripening empowerment. And we say that the very essence or the sort of the heart of receiving this empowerment is keeping the samayas, keeping the commitments that come with receiving the empowerment. And these we need to guard like we guard our life. And if we do this, then we can do this and begin the practice. So what is the practice? It's the practice of the 2 stages, the stage of generation and the stage of completion.
데네다 나도 깨름세야데 가르서나 다루 네 라 검고요레 나다 마다르바치고레 세메네한테 라이크 땡엔데다 마다르바치요레 고요레 다 너나가랑서 루가 이에섬 타마르게 낭히 타마르벤 나와 젬바 디 젬바 젬바 도백 셰드 다루 가도나 에네 라이 깨름다 마다르바 나다 마다르바 고요레.
So for this practice of the creation stage, what we do is we regard our body in the form of a yidam. We regard our speech as not ordinary speech, but as mantra. And instead of ordinary conception, we engage in this samadhi, connected with this yidam or this visualization. So in this way, we use these techniques of the creation stage to reverse our attachment or our clinging to, our regarding ourself in an ordinary form, and we regard it in this special, rarefied form of a yidam.
다 대답은 아니야 게름 곰바 대도 아니야 되네 다 상하게 단다 왕들 게름제 되는 조름 tel라 다 천재지 조름당 세매지 조름 니요래 다 천재지 조름세도 는 알아서 단다 즉 나로 추족답 니가 추족답 아니 추족 그런 바대서 아니 천재지 조름래.
For the completion stage, we have two types of completion stage. We have the completion stage with conceptual support and the completion stage without conceptual support. So talking about creation stage practices with conceptual support, this includes things like the 6 yogas of Naropa, the 6 yogas of Naguma, etc.
다 대답은 천재 조름 다 가데 깨름당 아니 천재게 아니 되는 조름 대조라 때네 아니 람 디트와 탐제 에네트네 셀토고요레.
And then through these practices of the creation stage and the completion stage with conceptual supports, we're able to remove all of these obscurations.
다데 다이 추히그나네 추숨바티제.
So this is the third of the 4 dharmas of Gampopa.
다 타마데 트루와 이히수 차르와세야 돼. 다 트루와 이히수 차르와세야 돼 가르스나 다 트루와세야 돼 만나서 제단게 뇨몽바 그네 트루베게 때네 넘버 토바 대탐제 다 이히수 차르세도 네 트루도 타메 메데바 다 너나 트루와당 트루도니 타메데바 송쟁이 좀해봐 다 되게 애네 때네 또베겠다 람 캐버도 봐봐줘라 세요래.
Then the fourth of the 4 dharmas of Gampopa is may confusion dawn as wisdom. So in general, this confusion comes about from this confusion that arises from the kleshas or the afflictions, these negative states of mind, and all the conception, the discursive thinking that comes around with those. So when we talk about this confused conception arising as wisdom, what do we mean? We mean that it's possible to see that the confusion that's there in the form of these afflictions or these conceptual thinking and the liberation are actually not two different things. There is not some separation between perceiver and perceived, or there's no separation between the confusion and the wisdom. So when we come to see this is getting at the 4th dharma of Gampopa. The 4th dharma of Gampopa, may confusion arise as wisdom.
다들라 뇨몽 이히수 차르스 다 뇨몽바 네, 다 뇨몽바 코랑 애니야 되는 뇨몽 다 가르더라 뇨몽바게 애니야 되는 고 애니야 되는 또운데 애니데 이히레 되어레스.
So it's possible for these afflictions to arise as wisdom, and why is that? That's because the very essence of these afflictions, the very essence of these negative states of mind, once you realize their essence, you see that they're actually wisdom.
다변난 도자게 남도 깨베 내갑라 도자게 남도게 왕도 마송바 제네 에는 도자게 남도 코랑게 고 라체레 때네 디고데 이니야다 렉응도 안데 이히차요레스 이히가레스나 소소토페 이히세야테 차요레스 다나게 샤당기 남도 제우나 샤당 흉체보 제용 그 샤당배 흉체보 제용도 샤당기 왕도 맞아 인직된 타마바나 샤당기 오나 아니 샤당 왕도 누구여라 봐 샤당 왕도 손으로도 다 샤당 제지 열들라 아니 다 공도지네 될라야 다 노바지게 열어 나 거네 책주보 아 되네 루지 거네 되네 봐저 너도 요발로 소파 카레나 있는 콜 봐 노색 토니 다 약동을 소바치기 열어봐. 다들 해당 왕도 신발에. 다 난조르바 남지 아니 해당 아니야 가족이나 해당 개용도 아니 해당이 왕도 마송 받잖아. 해당 코랑기 ngo라 아니야 자식도 아니야 되는 냠바라 샤운도 아니 해당게 남도한테 이힐은 전으로 이히 가래서나 아니 다 가제 멜롱타부 이히 멜롱타부 이히 전으로 그래서.
So, for example, how might this look in practice? If strong attachment arises in one's being, instead of falling sway to that attachment, falling under the power of it, if one can look nakedly and clearly into its essence, it's possible to see that its nature is wisdom. And we talk about different types of wisdom, and we say that the nature of attachment is what we call discriminating wisdom. So similarly, let's say one experiences strong anger arising in one's being and thoughts, discursive thoughts associated with strong anger arising in our being. The first thing is we need to not fall sway to it. We need to not be overpowered by it. As ordinary beings, that happens all the time. Anger comes up in our mind, and there's some object of our anger. And in our mind, we have these thoughts and this affliction of anger sort of raging in our mind. Maybe with our speech, maybe we say harmful words or cruel words or mean words to them. And with our body, it's possible we also do things like, hitting them or throwing stones at them or whatever it might be. So not letting that happen. The anger arises, but we don't fall under the sway of it. Instead, for a yogi or a yogini, if they can look straight into the nature of that anger, no matter how strong it is, if they can rest one-pointedly in it, it's possible that it can turn into wisdom, and the wisdom that is the nature of anger, is that right? Yeah? Is mere-like wisdom.
That then nyomong dogngas, that namdo chitang mangbo yabganane, that namdo rakpa. nyomong pa cheyu de nyomong pa ngayore dogna tela dogse ko be jumde karesta nyomong abo ti ke wang do chembaina ta be dongar ta me pa dongar trabo ine nyong yore de ko dog da chongbare bena dogse ne ene so chedu yore nyomong pa ngabo ti wang do chongbaina tarbe ketin so chedu yore tarba top to mare dongar muta me pa nyong yore sedo dognas ta nyomong dog ngabo ti ngohina ene nyomong dog ngabo ti pe lam do songma ene yinga le yore yinga ene ya tar chema ene sangge tarare yinga ene tar chen song pe ke ene ran ke da yinga I danye de la de sangge se yore ba.
So we talk about principally five different types of afflictions, and we call these also the five poisons. So why do we call them the five poisons? It's like if someone takes poison, then this can cut off your life. This can end your life. And further, if we're falling under the sway of the five poisons, this is cutting off the life force that leads to liberation. So that's why we call them poisons, these very strong negative things. But on the other hand, if we can recognize the very essence of these afflictions or these poisons, and if we can take that practice to the path, if we can use it instead of being overpowered by it, then it's possible for the five wisdoms to arise, and Buddhahood is nothing other than this. Buddhahood is the very essence or the very embodiment of the five wisdoms. If I said poisons a minute ago when I shouldn't have, sorry.
He se pangjur he sum se yores ta pang se to nyembo ten nyomong ene ta pe na hyadang rabo se kyeong ne kabla ene nyomong hyadang de khare se panggu de se na de nyembo je chamba dang ningje hyadang je se ge yol de la ene chamba da ningje gom manzu khasang ene ya ta kyenge to hyar kyenge lamje na hi 휴바나 기전 해당 계획이 열때라 아니 가서 참바당 닝제 곰나 아니 해당 파 갈래 아니 야트네 빵도 요래 될 빵백 소트 되래 아 다데는 양 해당 열세도 아니 양 해당데 라이기 ngo를 열 배나 해당 숙청보지 제온다 제용고도나 아니 양 될라 배나 미죠 자와레 나이나 미죠 받다고 라 콜로 댐자다부 라 미죠 바다부 너자 제베 내가블라 ene yang la ne nawa tae oba me tabu gomne din nyomong te dang te ene la te dang te ke ngo en balla ene gom de la jurfere nyomong ba te lai ke ngo le jurba ta nyomong ene ya hi se do den ta yi hyba na hi nyomong hyadang khorang ke ene ngo la chere ta do ene hyadang ngo de ene ta karde 이기다다 가르제 멜롱답 이기게 에네야tin ngol eneyatin toyoma tab ta pang ma ko ba dur ma ko ba o tne 녀몽 커낭 에네야 이시게 뭘 에네 뜬 또용마다 세요레스 근데 저당 녀몽 빵 부졌다 빵귤 희섬 나네 딱 가리 sabgu yorsa sabshude den nyomong ke ngote ene yishige rangyen ba to yongate ta sabshude chayore.
So in general, in working with the afflictions, these negative states of mind, there are three techniques that we can use. We can try to abandon them, we can transform them, or we can recognize their nature. So to go through these one by one, so what is to abandon them? How would that work? So this means basically using an antidote to whatever affliction has arisen in one's mind. So for example, if strong anger comes up in one's mind, how does one abandon this, or what antidote does one apply? So you're probably angry at somebody, right? So instead of being angry towards this person, you can meditate on loving kindness and compassion towards this person. So this can serve as an antidote. It can undermine that anger. This meditation on loving kindness and compassion undermines the anger. So that's the antidote. That's how we abandon it. So we spoke about this last night when we were speaking about taking negative circumstances, how to use negative circumstances as our friends in our pursuit of virtue. We talked about that quite a bit. And then the next one of the three is transforming the affliction. So if we stick with anger, usually when we talk about transforming it, we talk about meditating on like a Yiram deity that is associated with a particular affliction. So for anger, you could meditate on a form of an enlightened object of refuge, like of the five primordial Buddhas or the five families of Buddhas. We have Akshobhya. Or you could meditate on Chakrasamvara. So in this way, you take that feeling and you focus on one of these deities, and that can serve to transform that klesha. Further, or for another example, if attachment arose in one's being, then you can meditate on Amitabha. And by meditating on Amitabha, you can transform that klesha, that affliction of attachment, into an enlightened object of refuge, and that can change the experience. Then for the third, if you want to recognize the essence of one of these afflictions, what do? When strong anger arises in your being, you just look nakedly into the very essence of that anger. So again, we say if you do that, it's possible to realize the wisdom that is inherent to that anger, which in this case is mere like wisdom. So in this instance, for the recognition, you don't need to abandon it, you don't need to transform it, you just look directly into its essence to see the wisdom that is there. So among these three, abandoning, transforming, and recognizing, which is the most profound, we would say that it's this last one, the recognition, looking into the nature of the affliction and seeing that it's actually wisdom. We would say that is the most profound.
Then sangha korang yang sam la tumong mai be sangha ke chuge la ta doja ngo so to bi hi ne to ngdu ane doja 첨보 세그레스 해당 첨보 세그레스 해당 ene ya 되는 거 ane 멜롱 따부기 떠온도 ane 해당 첨보 세그레스 다다 상하 그랑 주게 도자 첨보 해당 첨보 nga절 첨보 세 오야 되더래 양나 도자 dorje 해당 dorje nga절 dorje 세그레 dorje 똥바니라 와 똥바니 되네 ane doja dorje se tamar pe doja ke ene ya ne pa tong ne tamar pe doja te pa sal ne dine ene ya taba hi je ene ya dine doja te so to be ke se yoris doja dorje hedang dorje se des.
So when we're able to do this, when we're able to actually look into the nature of one of these afflictions and see the wisdom that's there, there's a special terminology in the secret Mantrayana path, in the Vajrayana path, where we call this great attachment or great anger. And here it doesn't mean that the affliction is stronger. It means this, when we say great, this means that we're actually seeing the nature, seeing the inherent wisdom that is its actual nature. So there's another way we talk about it. Sometimes we say Vajra anger or Vajra attachment or Vajra pride, and this means the same thing. Here in this example, when we say Vajra, this means emptiness. So we're having the experience of anger or attachment or whatever, but also experiencing the emptiness of it. So again, this isn't like ordinary attachment or ordinary anger. This is seeing the very essence, seeing the wisdom that is the essence of these afflictions when they arise. So for the example of attachment, it would be this vajra, or this great attachment, whose essence is discriminating wisdom.
노야 다다기 휴바나기 너나 상하게 람라 깨름다 조름 니제 다 깨름데 타마르베 네드네 룽아 이스음기 셴밤 좀바데 네 도베게드네 다 탑라나메 바쳐요레 다 조름데 네 조름들라드네 체제지 조름당 체메지 조름스 아니 체제지 조름데 다다 휴바나기레 다이 어디가도 추족다버 나로 추족다 네가 추족라 소파 대서 다지 짜다 롱다 틀래 섬라 네드너네 자롱 특좀 대sol라 이네야다 네드너 바 텔라 이네다 체제 조름서 다 세메 조름서 다 단다데 세메 조름 대왕 희비기도 상하라 드네 왕 네 부왕 상왕 어디네 히랍이 희기 왕다 타마다 책왕 책왕 세계왕들한테는 rinpoche 세계왕 rinpoche 배자치 보시라래 된다다 왕 희위기 돼 에드네 내로 차도게네 돼 뭐줘봐 너제 이히 에네야다 뭐줘베게 에네 돼데 다 체메 조름세 에네 차자체 내로 돼들 요레스 다디 돼데 돈백 탑람들라 되네 트루바 이히 차르와스 다이 트루바다 다이 야 뇨모 베페나 이히가 가다 독나데 에네 무스타 이히라 에네 차르마레 이히라야 뇨도요레 대소다 되네 체메 조름나 때네 에네야 트루바 탐지 이히 차르바르지 베클라멘 베체나 에네야 다 타마데 트루바 이히 차르바데 히우요레.
So again, for the secret Mantyana, we have these two aspects to the path: the completion stage practices and the creation stage practices and the completion stage practices. So for the creation stage practices, what are we doing? We are using this as a means to reverse our ordinary clinging to our ordinary sense of body, speech, and mind. For the completion stage practices, we said there are two types of completion stage: those with conceptual support and those without conceptual support. Those with conceptual support include things like the 6 yogas of Naropa or Naguma, where we're meditating on the subtle channels within the body, the subtle energies within the body, and these subtle drops within the body. Now for the completion stage without conceptual support, here we're talking about practicing the fourth empowerment. When we receive these highest yoga tantra empowerments, they have 4 components. There are 4 empowerments. There's the vase empowerment, the secret empowerment, the prajna wisdom empowerment, and the 4th empowerment. Sometimes the 4th empowerment is called the precious empowerment. It's precious because it's very deep, it's very beneficial. There's a lot of import to it. And through this 4th empowerment, what happens there is one is introduced to the ultimate nature of one's mind. So in this sense, what can happen here is we can have this realization of this Vajra wisdom. So this Vajra wisdom is another way of saying the very nature of mind, or the very nature of Mahamudra. So this is another way in which corresponds to the 4th Dharma of Gampopa: may confusion arise as wisdom. These very 5 poisons, these 5 afflictions, we can see that their very nature is the 5 wisdoms through the practices of the completion stage.
다 디 너나 다부 그 추히 디 나네 다 남지는 바 차장 용수도 봐 땡거요레 토마르 에네야 뜨는 직된베 에네야 뜨네 다 양답부 따와 때네 에네야 뜨네 기부 총 때네 다 기부 정 에네 냐랑 그 특바 기부 첨보 에네야 뜨네 특바 첨보 당 에네야 뜨네 다 상하게 있나네 즉 천재 조림 면지 다때도 레 때네 다 됐라
코너시디 타마디 디케렘 조그렘
게렘당 천재지 조림 면지 다 기부 첨보세 다 세메 조림 때 때네 들어와 이슈 잡아서요 데라 다 기부 총정 첨부 그 나네 기부 첨보 들라양 기부 첨보당 기부 첨부 첨보세 다다다 제 상아다 배 타르도게 인 람 엔야 체메 조름 게 엔야 tin lam tela 다 dombatela tin 기부 제나 기부 쳔북 람스 야나 리어레스.
So in short, you can see that within these four dharmas of Gampopa, all of the different paths of the Buddha Dharma are subsumed within these teachings. It starts with these the lesser type of individual and just having this what we called perfect worldly view. So from all the way down there, this very beginning of Dharma practice, up through the middling type of practitioner, where they're practicing according to the motivation of the Shravakas and Pratyekya Buddhas, up to the superior types of capacities of individuals, where they're practicing the Mahayana, the basic Mahayana teachings, all the way up through this teaching of this practice of the completion stage without conceptual support. So for people who practice this completion stage without conceptual support, we can actually say this is like the highest class of the superior beings, or the superior among the superior, or something like that. And through these practices of the secret Mantrayana, one can attain ultimate realization through traveling this path, these paths. So now we'll do a little more meditation first.
몰라 tini 다 다다 다부추 현대라 tini ngonji tini 캐럽 공만 남지 양증 들어와 작당 때 됐습니다. 송요레 다 다시 내 휴바데 그냥 들어와 작당도 저제 까담배게 되네 다 장습 람드 나네 되네 기우 총 정 첨보 되네 기우 섬지 람데는 바탕 냠도 잘네 이야 되네 들어와 작수지 송요레 대다도 챘는도 두지 휴바에
So there are many ways that the four dharmas of Gampopa can be explained and have been explained by the masters of the past. And that which I have offered you here today is an explanation that corresponds to Atisha's lamp for the path of awakening, talking about the capacities of the three types of individuals, the lesser, the middling, and the greater.
문화도 즉 다부추기인데 또 근데 다 차자 첨부 그때는 남자는 바 차상 맞은 뒤낭도 땡겨 봐 인상 아니 토마르 다 투몽 건로 로도 남바 희생하나 단조니아가 치와메다 레전데 코르베니메 다 대시행하나서 애야드네 바 냠레 배 차상와 네 팩바 제가 능하나도 냠레 제 토바이나 디그드네 로 추스 마송바 인 추스 로버체 베게 탑 라나메바 차요레 디 투몽원도 히디 로 추스 로버체 베게 람 템바레.
So another way of explaining the four dharmas of Gampopa corresponds to the path of Mahamudra. So we can say that every aspect of the meditations in the path of Mahamudra is contained within this four dharmas of Gampopa. So for example, for the first one, may my mind go to the Dharma. This is talking about the four thoughts that turn the mind to Dharma. The contemplation on the precious human birth, impermanence and death and impermanence, karma, cause and result, and the faults of samsara. For one who has consummated this practice, we can say that one's mind has been turned towards the Dharma, or these serve to turn the mind which hasn't been turned towards the Dharma to indeed turn that mind towards the Dharma.
다 디제스 투몽 마엠베 되는 건로 아니 다 특바첨부 되는 짬로당 아니 셈게지 고네 아니 하나도 참범 체야당 아니 다다기 도제 셈비 곰데 만달 라멘난조다 투몽 마엠베 건로 남바히 디제스 에나트네 히네당 아니 라동 도록게 에나트네 히네다 라동 대소 에나트네 다 추 람드 로버체 빅테네 다 카테 라멘 바레스
Nika.
nika.
Then in terms of the the four dharmas of Gampopa and the Mahamudra path, we can also say that the second of the four dharmas of Gampopa, may my dharma practice travel the authentic path. This is talking about the uncommon preliminary practices, or what we usually call the Ngundo practices, where we go for refuge and generate the mind of awakening, or bodhicitta, in terms of the Mahayana tradition. And then after this, we do the 100,000 prostrations, then the 100,000 100-syllable mantra recitations, and then the 100,000 mandala offerings and 100,000 recitations of the Guru Yoga prayer. So this, along with the sutra tradition of meditating on shamatha, or calm abiding meditation, and vipassana, or insight meditation. These two practices, the four uncommon preliminaries and the shamatha and vipassana, correspond to the second dharma of Gampopa, may my dharma practice travel the authentic path.
다든 타마 진에 람 트루바서 봤다. 트루바 이히도 잘 봤어야 돼. 다 이히 봐도 직반으로 차요래. 아니야 다 람 트루바서 봤다. 주대 아니 다 나저 람에게 아니야 된다. 람라 효네 아니 면제기 왕희 휴네 아니 되겠네 다 송지 탐적됐다 마냥 봐 송네 아니 깨비그램 봐 타르체 아니 senjeje ene tin zorem yenje tela tin lam truwa serwas da semeje zorem tela ene truwa yi charwas da yeta dal chiba chagres.
And then for the third dharma of Gampopa, may the path remove confusion. This corresponds to receiving the four empowerments within the highest Yoga Tantra and practicing that path, maintaining the samaya, not letting your samaya become impaired, and engaging in the creation stage practices as well as the completion stage practices with conceptual support. So these correspond to the third Dharma of Gampopa, may the path remove or clarify confusion. And for the fourth Dharma of Gampopa, may the confusion arise as wisdom. This, as we just spoke about before, corresponds to this creation stage without conceptual support.
다 너르나 상제 좀 된 대지 아니 다 너당 나지 아니야 송랍 탐지 아니 다 간보페 그때는 추히 디낭라 이네 드네 아니야 송바레 디낭 상디어레 다 상제 송랍 탐지 드나 가리낭 드르잖아 아니 간보페 추히낭라 드세 랍초레.
So we can say, again, that all of the teachings of the Bhagavan Buddha, be it the sutra, be it the tantra, everything he taught can be subsumed within these four dharmas of Gampopa. If you ask, in what classification of teachings can all of the Buddha's teachings be contained within, in which set of teachings are they contained within, we can say that would be the four dharmas of Gampopa.
다 추히보데 엔 가리낭 도거랬나? 추히데 다양 엔이야 두나 가서 도거 가왈 도거래 남랑 가리낭 도거랬나? 저반다고 정화이나?
So if we ask, 추시보디.
추히데 양결 가왈 도거.
So if we want to sort of subsume these four dharmas of Gampopa into something else, like where or how would that be done?
상제지 송랍 탐지 동아 탐지 추히낭라 두 추히보데 엔 가리낭 도거래.
Yeah, so I think this is a real question. Like you're supposed to have an answer. So all these teachings that the Buddha gave in terms of the sutras and the tantras are contained in the four dharmas of Gampopa. But if we want to condense these four dharmas of Gampopa into something, into what can they be condensed? I said, if all the teachings of the sutra and tantra of the Buddha can be condensed, are contained within the four dharmas of Gampopa, what contains the essence of the four dharmas of Gampopa? So not four things, maybe less than that. Yeah? Maybe.
야, 다 추히보데 추찍당을 두그레스. 추찍보데 가르스나 네. 잡적깔로는 뭐지 대샤원 데레스. 타말 히바스. 타말 히바스. 데레스 다. 너는 디나 두그레스.
So, in what teaching can all of this be, what singular teaching contains all of these? And Rinpoche is pointing to that drawing on the wall above Steve Parker's head. In Tibetan it says Tamal Shepa, which means ordinary mind.
Ordinary mind said to meng de chanzajiore. Ordinary mind the chanzate karidusada. In that ordinary mind situta neluk tatuk ranghi nyuma lenjikibe ihi. Zoxi kabla rikpa said Teta chikpare rikpa tang tamar hipa se meng des madamato donda chikpare se. That dinang duguyore.
So, did I mention that was drawn by the previous caller, Rinpoche? It was. So the name is a little strange, ordinary mind. When we hear it, it's difficult to understand the depth of its meaning at first. So how is it that all of this is contained in the ordinary mind? When we say ordinary mind, what we're pointing to is this ultimate nature of the mind, this ultimate abiding foundation of the mind, the natural state of the mind, the co-emergent wisdom of the mind. In the Dzogchen tradition, they talk about it in terms of Rigpa. So when we say all of these different things, Rigpa, ordinary mind, this co-emergent wisdom, they're all pointing to the same thing. It's different names pointing to the same term, same thing.
다 오살 샘기 내로 아니 찾아 첨부 될라 감보백에 가두이나 타마르 히바 송여레스 타마르 히바 히비게 책데 저당다 이내야 듣는 도당 망부나라 녀도 녀그레스 유요레스 이내야 딱 냐메 감보파게 대답은 가능수 샘지 내로 오살 찾아 첨부 기 되더라 맹더라 타마르 히바 다요레스 가도에나 아니 타마르 히바 송요레스 감보베 추 탐제다 타마르 히바 나라 이네 야 때요레스.
So when we talk about this luminosity of the mind, or this natural state of the mind, or Mahamudra, Gampopa gave this the name ordinary mind. So in all of his teachings, again and again, Gampopa would refer to this as ordinary mind. Now this term ordinary mind you can find in the sutras and you can find it in the tantras, but it's really only Gampopa, the unequaled Gampopa, who refers to the nature of the mind with this term. So again, we can say that all of his teachings are contained within this singular term and its meaning.
나다 잡지깔로 도저 창게 네 타말 히바트 이거 전부 제도 왔어. 내 도다 전부 제 내가 전부 개 전부 제 인상 아니 책 찍고 된 마도 현다 타말 때 니나 그러면 어디 깔로는 뭐체서 사이그래 고나 사이그래 깔로는 뭐체서 얘가 때 타말 히바트 때마도 송면도 왔어. 다때 개 전부 사 전부 이게 이제 노릇다 보지 네 인자 엔테 개침보 진짜 낭 요레스 제네 엔에 지랑서 낭 요레스 다 냠네 타도 낼제 거레스.
So Vajradhara Kala Rinpoche, he had an opportunity to write something, and what did he write? He wrote ordinary mind, and not in small letters, he wrote it quite big, right? So why is this? I think this is showing the importance of this. This is showing what a critical point it is. It's showing that what do we need to know? The only thing that we need to know is this ordinary mind. It's quite special. It's like a wish-fulfilling jewel. It's like the ultimate practice. I think that's what he's showing. Kala Rinpoche is showing that by drawing this in a big way and signing it.
방안에서 이야기네 냠내 다 탈도 ene tamar hipa to su semje nelokte ngo hipa chene en teig tengdo mayang pa chene gom kores tananga tonge hipa na he en rang sem yultang yurje nisu mapa en sem khorange ene tene rango hizam rekzam tela ene ya ta yi chine ene mayang pa chene gyu kyong tobaje kores.
So this ultimate practice is recognizing the very nature of our mind and resting in the nature of the mind. As I said before, once our practice develops, we can rest in the nature of a mind where there's no difference between subject and object. There's just this bare recognition of the nature of mind, just this bare knowing, this mere knowing that the mind is there, and having trust that this is the ultimate practice. We need to be able to recognize this. We need to be able to sustain this essence, sustain this nature of mind. That's our ultimate practice.
타만 히빙 오 경완데 냠내 탐제 그 낭네 레 라휴 냠내 탐제 그 낭네 토휴 냠내 탐제 그 낭네 사휴 내 말이에요.
If one can sustain the very nature of this ordinary mind, among all practices there are, this is actually the easiest. Among all practices there are, this is actually the highest teaching, the highest practice. Among all practices there are, this is the most profound practice.
타마르히빙 오종스 내가 가요 말했어. 차천구요 말해. 나장구요 말해. 화곰구요 말해. 다 되셔야 돼.
When sustaining the nature of this ordinary mind, there's absolutely no work that needs to be done. You don't need to prostrate, you don't need to recite mantras, you don't need to visualize anything, you just need to rest there.
냐데 난데그래 칼라사데 난데그래 게젠로데 히엔데그래 조근 제나 있는 거 타마르히베게 ngote 마이 ngote 쫑 힘베 토네나 다 냐나 로나 가르체는 되게 요르세 현다 내가 가요 말스.
For one who can undistractedly sustain this nature of ordinary mind, then it doesn't matter what else you do. If you want to sleep, sleep. If you want to eat, eat. If you need to go somewhere, go somewhere. If you need to talk, talk. It doesn't matter. If you can really sustain this nature of mind, then anything you do, it can be supported or it won't be lost in anything that you do.
다 타마르 히베게 ngote 토라 마행 바네 힘바이나 아니 소남기 초당 이히 초 디낭라 창데 요레스. 다시 당보 규반에 파로도 침바 쪽 람게른 바 차장 디낭 창데 요레스. 되네 즉 사주 람가이게 에네테 렘바테 탐제 에네야 다 타마르히베 ngo 코란 게 나라 창데 요레스.
For one who can sustain the nature of this ordinary mind, then the accumulations of merit and the accumulation of wisdom are all complete within this itself. The same is true for the 6 paramitas. Like we said before, one needs to travel through the 5 paths and the 10 levels of the bodhisattva to awakening, and by resting in this nature of ordinary mind, all of that can happen, all of that can transpire.
타마르히베 그 ngo 터바이나 아니 차 타르바데 타마르히바 쿄라 차 타로스 송요레.
If one can sustain the nature of this ordinary mind, this is the ultimate prostration. There's a verse that talks about prostrating to this very nature of ordinary mind.
다이나야 타마르히베 그 ngo 히라 그 렐라보 인자 양 델레 예치기요 말레. 나도 예치기요 말레. 델로키요 말레. 다 상제 공방 탑제라다 타마르히베 ngo 마행와 이네 독스당 ngo 정다 됐다 진지 말에 텔을 하바지 땡데 요지래 텔을 하베 람 냠스 렌주지 요지래 삼네 에는 아주 예치요 말 예 마지 바 텔라 떼네 에는 존주 정투요 말 에는 아주 소제 그냥 소르바제네 다 떼멤바지 요지래 삼네 에는 양 아주 레와 현다 직자네 에는 타마르히바 냠네 파 빵도 요혀요래 딩아도 다 논주 쳐요래.
When we hear that all we need to do is sustain the nature of this ordinary mind, we think that that's too easy. We don't believe that that can be true. We think that in order to accomplish this profound state of Buddhahood, surely we need to do something more than just rest, sit there in the very nature of mind. We think there must be some higher practice, some other practice that we need to do. We don't have trust that this can be the case, so then we don't have the diligence to stick with that practice, and we feel like we need to put forth some effort. We need to put forth some effort in some other direction, so then we leave this practice of just resting in the nature of mind and we look for something else to do.
초직제 렐라보라 타마르히바도 나나서 다디게 있네 샘 ndameda 텐데야 ndameda 통데야 히데야 렉데야 다 타마르히바도 데레 고칠올이 요 말레스 소도 샘나 요레스 상게 랑게 샘네 녀송바레 상게스 주도 소소 랑게 샘들레 네 녀고마도 상게 칠로네 토비야 요 말레 상게 랑게 샘네 녀고 샘네 간데드 녀고르나 에네 타마르히바 코나게 ngote 에네 또네 디게 에네 다 낭라 네 토바치 마영바 네 토바치나 안 디네티 상게 길람 된 상게 때 랑게 인디아 된 셈니 어서 추지고 대롱니 투기래.
From one perspective, I mean, this is very easy. This mind that we have that thinks all kinds of things, that sees all kinds of things, that experiences all kinds of things, it's actually the seeing, experiencing, thinking, this very mind doing these things that we need to rest in. We're not searching for something that is outside of this mind that we know so well. It's the very nature of this mind. It's like the Buddha is to be found within us. You shouldn't be searching outside of yourself to find that which we call Buddha. You just need to look into and realize the very nature of your own mind. And then if you're able to rest in this, if you can rest in this one distractedly, this is the very way, this is the very means to realize the inherent Buddha inside of us, which is the luminosity of the Dharmakaya.
다오나 타마르히바데 레라휴 타마르히바데 삽휴 델라 하바 메베 추제나 ane sangye 당보는 타마르 히바 코랑 때에서는 되게 도와 ane 망보제 내가 망보제 때는 당보니 잠로니 제 차네 제 때네 다 배라 곰야 땅아 땅야다 ane 도나 제 람제는 바 망보제 때 거야 라틴 돈다 면도 와 된다 삼롱아도 깨서게 돼요 다대 다시 히바 나히래 먼저 초 마사 드바 마장나 타마르 히바 코랑 먼저 여다 소소 렌직데 냠도 요래데 디고데 통특게 말에 통화이나 이치게 말했어 이 맞이나 검게 말했어 마검나 상제 말와 다 나도 제 초사 드바장 라메 진압 샘나 효다 하버드티 타마르 히베기 고데 통화라 ene 탑사피우다 라메 진압데 다 라메 진압데 에네든 샘교라 효바나 ene 타마르 히바 코랑 통용 거래 통한 쌈도 맞았더니 예친 그래 된때 곰투 그래 들어서다 ene 나도 탑람때도 땡고비 김대 되래 ene 탑람때도 나도 냠내 제 거야 개 처음부터 그래 다 타마르 히바 코랑 고 통내티 고쫑 특別 내가 죽을라 아니 탑람 셔다도 다 냠래 맞아는 그래
So we say that this ordinary mind, practice of ordinary mind, is the easiest, the most profound, that there's nothing higher than it. But if that's the case, then maybe some of us might give rise to doubt from time to time. If that's the case, then why didn't the Buddha just teach that? Why teach all these other things that seem kind of difficult and to involve all this work, like, going for refuge and doing prostrations and meditating on yidams and reciting mantras and all of that? He taught many different things, so if this is the most profound and easiest, why didn't he only teach that? And like I said before, the problem is that if we haven't accumulated merit, and if we haven't purified our obscurations, then it's very difficult to recognize this ordinary mind for what it is. We can't see that that is the very essence of our mind. And even if we do have some glimpse into it, even if we can't see that that's the nature of the mind, we don't have trust. Even if we have a glimpse, we don't have trust that that's all we need to do. And if we don't have this trust, then of course we're not going to meditate on it. And if we don't sustain our meditation on this, then of course we're not going to be able to attain Buddhahood. So what we need to do before we can actually just do this practice which entails no work or no effort is we do need to accumulate merit. We do need to purify the obscurations. And very importantly, we need to receive the blessings of the Lama. We say that the most profound means to be able to realize and sustain this nature of the mind is to receive the blessings of the Lama. If the blessings of the Lama enter us, then we'll be able to see it. Once we see it, then we'll have trust in it. Once we have trust in it, we will be inspired to meditate on it. So this is the reason for all these other practices. They are sort of preparing us to be able to do this ultimate or this higher practice. So these other types of practice are very important. Once we do these, then we'll be able to sustain this nature. And once we can do that, then we can abandon these other practices and don't need to do them.
소소 장례게 샘기 내로 아니 어서 찾아쳐 뭐 세그래 에들이 뉴맥 히바 세그래 렌지 기베 이 세그래 아니 맹다 야체유들 타마르 히바 세그래 다 타마르 히바 디게 고쫑 터바이나 아니 다 다른 저기 요래 대고쫑 세야들 가래서나 잉바매 봐 마잉 영매 곰지 의시 송도와 곰지 의시 영 마송바 타마히바 코는 고 텔레 에 마잉비 토네 에냐 정토바지 정나 에 람차당 디나라 상도 요레스 다 디때부게 에냐 냠네 에네 호다 냠네 도준도 돈주 나주데 개체모셔다레 엔데 다 테마도 믹세 샤메스트 엔 디젤랑아도 트라이인스.
So in short, if one is able to sustain this nature of mind, we can talk about it in different ways. We can say the nature of mind. We can say the luminosity of Mahamudra. We can say this fundamental mind or fundamental consciousness. We can say co-emergent wisdom, or as we've been talking about principally here, the ordinary mind. So again, once you're able to just rest in that, then that's enough. But what does it mean to be able to sustain this nature of mind? This means being free of distraction. So like we say that non-distraction is the main practice or the body of meditation. That's what this is pointing at. And once we arrive to that point, then all the other paths, all the other practices are subsumed, subsumed within that. And then it's okay just to do that. So I want to encourage you all to put effort, be diligent in your pursuit of this ultimate practice. So that concludes my formal presentation on the four Dharmas of Gampopa for today. And we can now have question and discussion. But before that, so first, let's do a little meditation. Do your best to rest in the very nature of ordinary mind. So to do this practice of ordinary mind, there's no work to be done. You're not trying to create something or sort of shape your mind into some specific experience. You just want to rest with your mind as it is. And the important thing is to not be distracted, to know what is happening at all times. Again, we say that non-distraction is the body or the main practice of meditation. So whatever's occurring, don't think you need to alter it. Just let the mind rest just as it is. Rest relaxedly within that. And this is how you do this type of meditation.
tene dada ta ngarang so tamar hibande tene inji ki kedo de ta ordinary mind ta ordinary mindset yurgu yore ti ene ta 더 야심보 가서 땐 두고나 즉다 은에 제다 랑중 그럭과 렌직 기비기 이히 뉴메기 히바 ene wasar chu jikko de ne ene ta rangdang 렌직 돈 들어봐 봐 ene ya ne ba 렌직 기비히 다 타마르 히바세야 디 돈다 딘다 디 돈다 땡겨요레스 책라 ene ya tin injikato ordinary mind ta di ordinary mind di de 단데 wasar 렌직 기비기 뉴메 히바 뉴메 돈 데다 돈 두고 아요마요 라와 타마르 히바드 고직 종종 다다가난 그 샘데 뭐도 델라바 다돈 또 오지 말에 댕사보 다 가래나면 조다 대 jor고 요래 다고 신랍게 돈다래 지랑속에 있는 야 두주 타마르 히바 책대 벽에 털 배주 땅 텀나 야보레스 다한다 마게 ordinary mind 배주 땅다 땅게 땅 초래 얘는 야 타마르 히바 주 책대 지랑속 히바지 로라 샘데 대다 히로 특직다 히기라 봐 타마르 히바 대 롤세 다 타마르 히바 대 저당 알아서 다시 히바 나게 아니 정도당 아망부 나네 타마르 히바 턴다 턴거 요래 얘네 쪼데 가주베게 되네 추게래 terminology 가주베게 다 대가세 추게 지래 투몽만이 추게 지래 가주베 낭네 애네 쪼 되네 냐메 감보빠게 애네 다 투몽만이 송지래 감보빠게 되네 다 셈예 렌직 기비 추지고 디게 맹라 애네 타마르 히바 되네 다 살도 떠네 애네 되네 송요래 공송답 창문나 디나 요래 대송다데 책대 거랑 질랍 첨보래 타마르 히바돼야 돼 지라도 로라 셈네 애네야 배주 당나로 나세 다 희한한 휴아이
So in English, you say, we translate this term as ordinary mind. And I wonder if the term is able to carry all the weight and the import that is actually inherent in the meaning of the word. So we're talking about this spontaneous awareness, this co-emergent wisdom, this foundational consciousness, that's not good, this foundational awareness, this luminosity of the Dharmakaya. So this is actually completely inseparable from us. It is our nature, it's with us at all times. So as you can see, this term is very profound and it has a very deep meaning. And perhaps I want to make a suggestion that all of you, I mean, it's okay to say ordinary mind, but I think it'd also be good if you learn the Tibetan word. So it's not much. Tamal Gishepa.
Tamal Hipa.
Tamal Shepa. Tamal, Tamal, Shepa, SHEPA. Tamal Shepa.
Yes.
You passed.
Here, written by Rinpoche. This is written by Rinpoche. Tamal Hipa.
So I want to encourage you, all of you, to learn this word. Now you can use ordinary mind from time to time, but I think this word is endowed with a lot of blessings. So to keep this in your mind, at least to learn it and use it from time to time, I think would be very good. And like I mentioned before, you can find this term throughout the sutras and the tantras, but it's used specifically by the Kagyu. It's a very specific Dharma term. It's Dharma terminology particular to the Kagyu tradition, and even within the Kagyu, more particularly or especially within the unequaled Gampopa's Kagyu, the Dakpo Kagyu. So again, this meaning is quite deep. We're talking about mind itself. We're talking about the co-emergent wisdom of the Dharmakaya. Everything is concluded within this term. So again, I just want to encourage you in this way.
Yeah, that's what you know. Oh, yeah, person that. Oh, yeah. 숨도 감아 정하래 도와.
Long.
숨도 감아 정하니.
Talk that it. Oh, summer. Oh,
싫어하면도.
medulla.
네.
Should we still have the break? Okay. Okay, let's have a short break and come back. Sorry. Let's try 15.
감아 쉽지 않아도.
Long. So, sumdan chekala surzong.
Ah.
Sumdan chekala surzong gere.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Dora, there's a place for Rinpoche to sit. Oh, me di ngato di saok la lev yo marwa.
저.
Ngato.
응.
Ngato the saok la tema taga drona.
나도
Long.
오케이. 자.